years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500. Finally.
Third-generation star Dale Earnhardt Jr. brings him to the flag. Checkered flag waving. It's over. It's Earnhardt.
He's going to do it. He's going to win the race and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. California's Kevin Harvick does it.
You are the 2014 Sprint Cup champion.
The 24-year-old from Dawsonville, Georgia, is about to join his father, Awesome Bill, in elite company. Chase Elliott is a NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Ah! Ring that siren, boys! Yeah!
And the 1991 winner of the Daytona 500 is Ernie Irvan, the Morgan McClure Chevrolet.
Morgan McClure Chevrolet, honk! Look at honk, honk, honk. A lot of Morgan McClure Chevrolet fans here today.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Clean Air Show, episode 32, Michigan International Speedway, along with a NASCAR announcement coming up. Let's check in on the chat here.
NASCAR announcement.
Yeah, super top secret. Tate says, I asked the bar to put the pre-race show on. They didn't put the Clean Air Show on. This is bullshit. I agree. Fuck that bar. Leave that bar. Tristan, Mouth of the South is here, boy. What do you got to say about that, baby? Can I get a oh yeah?
You got a big mouth, John Cena.
You got a big mouth, John Cena. Does a bear shit in the woods? Can't wait till the number 36 Tampax Dodge Ram wins a race. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Phil?
Not much, man. Just took in some church this morning with the family. You know, having a little party this afternoon.
I'll be there.
Gonna be a good day.
I'll actually make it to this one. I was sick as shit last week.
Yeah.
Tate's already on his way home. We got a lot of like cleanup stuff to do from the last couple of weeks that we have failed to do.
I blame Victor, dude. It's all Victor's fault.
I can also get behind blaming Victor. We like skipped big junk for Charlotte. I think we did give our fantasy picks last week, but I don't know. We missed out on a lot of stuff.
That's my boy right there.
Junior, can't wait for Ram to stomp some Chevy, Ford, and Cheating Yoder nerds.
I was trying to find some Dodge garb, but I don't have any. I have plenty of Chevy stuff, but I drive a Dodge, so I'm excited about the.
If you haven't heard, I mean, it's the big news today is that NASCAR has a really big announcement. Ram has had a big presence in Michigan, and then Michael Waltrip kind of dropped the ball yesterday during the truck race and is like, "I think Ram's making an announcment, and Cleus McFarland's going to be the driver." So I'm at the point now where once they make it official, I'm probably going to go to the truck race for the 500 weekend next year.
Absolutely.
If that's the case, because I'd like to see it just to see what happens, just to be there. Sales there for Dodge's return.
Big Dodge guy.
You're a big Dodge guy.
Big Dodge guy.
Fill up on these nuts and AJ all in my wiener, the two best NASCAR hosts. There's something wrong with that, boy. We got some other big stuff to go over. Tomorrow, we are having a special Clean Air Show with ARCA Series driver Brayton Laster coming on the show. He had our logo on his car for the ARCA race this weekend in Michigan. I'm going to try to see if we can get some pictures. You can see our logo there on the hood, right under the N and the S of designs. Better picture of it there. Super awesome for Brayton to put us on his car this week. So he's going to come on the show with us tomorrow, and we're going to talk about it. The car never actually saw the track because they blew a motor in practice, pulled out his car for Berlin. We'll talk about all that tomorrow. I think 8 o'clock.
Yeah. I think
8 o'clock.
That's phenomenal. Like, to me as a racer, like knowing that they pulled out their short track car and ran Michigan is.
I mean, brother, you've been there. You've been there where you've had to put completely different springs in. Fucking.
It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight, but hell yeah, dude, he finished top 20.
That's crazy to think about, knowing how big the track of Berlin is and how big Michigan is. To still finish top 20 is freaking awesome. Pizza man, that's right. So that's some cool stuff coming up. What else we got, Phil? I thought there was something else. I don't know. This big major NASCAR announcement that nobody knows about is really just got me on pins and needles.
Yeah, it's I don't know anything about it, man. I wish they'd just ram it to us and quit dodging everything.
Wish they just ram it to us.
Quit dodging it all,
Quit dodging it. You see all the pictures coming out of the garage this morning with backup cars getting unloaded and Mexico cars getting loaded in? Do you know they have to be in Mexico by tomorrow? They have to be in Mexico by tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's when the border is letting them through.
That's crazy.
Patrick.
Can't imagine what NASCAR's announcing today. Stephanie Ellis, Phil, did you say you want to get rammed?
Don't want to get rammed. That's my sister.
What's going on, Patrick? Welcome back in. Imagine the announcement is Dodge and 750 horsepower. I agree with Junior. Bring back 850. Give them all the horsepower.
Give it all.
You want some entertaining racing? You just let them run what they brung. So yeah, that's crazy. I think this is going to be a logistical nightmare for NASCAR this week. I know we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves. We're talking about Mexico City. This is a lot of moving pieces to get out of the country and into another one in essentially 6 days.
I mean, think about when they go to Canada, though. Like when they go to Montreal and stuff like that, when Xfinity was going.
I mean, that's been years. And that was only one series going there. Now we're 2 full series heading down there.
Right. I mean, that's
have one half of the field go one way and the other half go the normal way for Tony. It's going to be tough. I think that we're going to have a lot of stuff coming out this week on just issues that everybody's had trying to get there. I'm also
Kyle Busch is good.
I hope Kyle Busch is good. And I'm really curious on how media and stuff is going to get there, or if it's going to be really small as far as media goes. Tate just said Border Patrol is at MIS to tag the trucks to make it easier. I still feel like that might be a little tough. Kyle Busch gets nabbed by the cartel. Kyle Busch crosses the border and immediately gets kidnapped. Mexico City, that's going to be a headache if it isn't already. I'm interested. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the Cup Series race outside of the country for a points paying race. I think that's super awesome. So cool.
I think that track's going to be tough.
I just think it's going to be a logistical hellhole for the next couple days. Because then they have to turn around from Mexico City and drive right to Pocono. It's not like Pocono's a hop, skip, and a jump away from Mexico City.
Still on the Kyle Busch cartel stuff.
Comments have taken over. Kyle Busch is now part of the cartel.
Mark this episode down if Kyle Busch becomes a member of the cartel this weekend.
He's going to come back with a bunch of gang tattoos.
Carson Ware.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Come on, Phil. We were doing so good. Oh, boy. Should I go over Car 32 history while we inch closer to this big announcement?
Let's do it.
We got a return of a couple friends this week, Phil. Episode number 32 means we give you the Car 32 racing history and NASCAR Cup Series competition. The 32 cars started 1,000 races with 108 drivers, has 2 wins, 3 poles, 35 top 5s, 115 top 10s, and 286 DNFs. That is a ratio. In 2000, car owner Cal Wells bought PPI Motorsports, a former kart team, to NASCAR with driver Scott Pruitt, a former Trans Am driver. Wells and sponsor Tide chose 32 because it was the sum of all the previous cars to carry Tide as a sponsor. 17 plus 5 plus 10 equaled 32. Pruitt struggled all year, failed to qualify for several races, and finished in top 10 only once in his 28 starts, a 10th place finish at Indianapolis. Ricky Craven took over the Tide ride beginning the 2001 season. Craven turned the team around by qualifying for every single race that season and running very strong on a number of occasions. Late in 2001, Craven would earn his first career victory at Martinsville and would finish 21st in the championship standings. Everybody remembers Darlington 2003. Craven barely got a nose in front of Kurt Busch coming to the line to win the Carolina Dodge Dealers 400 in what was, for the longest time, the closest finish in NASCAR history. I think that's been beaten since.
Was it Atlanta last year?
I want to say it might have been Atlanta last year beat that out. After Craven left, Bobby Hamilton Jr. was tapped to replace Craven. In 2005, the team switched to Chevrolet since Pontiac left the sport and eventually dissolved the brand. Hamilton struggled all year and finished 34th in points. After 42 starts, Hamilton was replaced. In 2006, Travis Kvapil got behind the wheel of the Tide 32, but also struggled at the end of the season. Tide left PPI, and with no prospective sponsors for the company, dissolved in a deal that gave assets and employees to Mike Waltrip Racing to form the 00 team. Cal Wells became executive vice president of operations for MWR until they folded following the 2015 season. In 2014, Kvapil would again drive the 32 as one of the many drivers for Go Fast Racing. Phil and I, as we were sitting at the bar yesterday, went over all the drivers in that Go Fast Racing era, and we're about to get to them, and it's just a laundry list of people. In 2010, Braun Racing started to field a part-time 32 Sprint Cup car in addition to its successful Xfinity teams. Jason Leffler, Mike Bliss, Reed Sorensen, and Jacques Villeneuve all made starts. Now we go into Go Fast Racing, and drivers of that car were Boris Said, Ken Schrader, J.J. Yaley, Reed Sorensen, Timmy Hill, Terry Labonte, Mike Bliss, Joey Gase, Josh Wise, Travis Kvapil again, Will Kimmel III, Bobby Labonte, Boris Said, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Matt DiBenedetto, where's Corey LaJoy? And that is everybody from Go Fast Racing.
That's a couple driving fucks and a whole lot of non-driving fucks.
Phil, we have a return of a friend. Dick Brooks started 78 races in the number 32 from 69 to 74. Brooks never won the 32, but he did have one career win at Talladega in 1973, the last win for Plymouth and NASCAR. Fun fact with AJ. Jimmy Horton started 22 races from 92 to 93 in a what looks like unsponsored 32 car.
That car is also the car, I believe, the car he was in when he went over the wall at Talladega was the 32 car.
That is wild. That is wild. I need to bring up a picture for this next one, Phil, because Dick Trickle raced the 32 25 times in the 1994 season. Other notable names: Tiny Lund, 16 starts; Greg Sachs, 6 starts; Ron Fellows, 4 starts; Alan Kowicki, 3 starts; Mike Skinner, 1 start; Junior Johnson, Buck Baker, Mike Wallace, Elmo Langley, and Jim Sauter, all with 1 start in the 32.
Do you know what Elmo Langley is actually known for?
What is he actually known for, Phil?
Driving the pace car.
Really? Fun fact with Phil.
Yeah. Fun fact with Phil. He drove the pace car for a long time.
Phil, when are we getting you this hat?
Soon, I hope.
Let's catch up on some
Charlotte.
big junk stuff because we failed to do that, and I really want to knock that off of here. I think Phil and I both collectively are just going to give it to Kyle Larson for Charlotte. What an awful day that guy had. So Kyle Busch, big junk, Charlotte.
No, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson.
Or Kyle Larson, whatever. I mean, did Busch have a great day at Charlotte either?
Driving fuck, bad luck.
I think he's a wash fuck.
Stepped on his pee-pee in both races, though.
Yeah, he sure did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Next week's Harry Gant with 33. Well, I guess tomorrow's 33 with Harry Gant.
Robert Presley down there as well. Ken Schrader
back again. Who are we giving big junk to for Nashville? I mean, Noah Gregson's on that list. I'm going to have to look up the finishing order for Nashville to tell you who I think our big junk should be, because, boy, that was a week ago, and I almost forgot everything that happened there.
Let me see.
You go see.
Ricky Stenhouse?
Oh, Ricky Stenhouse, Carson Hocevar. I mean, that car was big junk.
That car was big junk. I mean, the only other option you got would be Corey Heim.
Corey Heim's a good one. That car was fucked.
That car was pretty fucked.
That car was fucked. Okay, we'll go Corey Heim for Nashville. I'll agree with you there.
Yeah.
It was Heim time for big junk.
Oh, yeah.
So Kyle Larson for Charlotte. And Corey Heim for Nashville. So now we are
driving fuck again yesterday in the truck race till he wasn't.
Until everybody stopped being driving fuck.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. They blamed Cletus for a restart being stupid a couple weeks ago in ARCA. Holy hell.
Yeah.
Well, even worse.
Oh hell, let me catch up on some comments here. Since the France fan was going to field the Force Fire car but backed out, who fields it now? Good question. Can we have a split manufacturer team and that just be a Dodge Cup car? Junior Scott, hi to my family at home, Pruitt. It was last year at Kansas.
So
it was
the
Kansas,
record was Kansas.
Busher and Larson. And Tate, bunch of non-fuck drivers.
Yeah.
So let's go over Nashville. I don't think we talked about the Xfinity race. That was the day after we recorded. So Justin Allgaier gets it done in Nashville. Like I kind of predicted all week he was going to. I thought that fit for him. Charlotte ending the way it did. I thought Allgaier was going to have a real good shot at it. Shout out Connor Zilich for driving right through the field and getting in the lead. Probably would have won the race had there not been that late caution at the end.
Yep.
Just overall a decent Xfinity race through and through. You got results up there for the Xfinity race?
I do.
What do you got?
Allgaier, Zilich, Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed, Ross Chastain, Eric Armadillo, Austin Hill, Jesse Love, Carson Quapple, Sammy Smith, top 10. Corey Day, 11th. All right. Still don't have a vote out on him, but all right.
Cooper's going to get pissed at you.
I mean, I didn't say nothing bad. The kid's a driver. I just don't think they're jumping around with him too much. He needs to be in one car and learn that car, and he'll be all set.
Tate brings up a good thing here. It just seems like Xfinity produces better races as of recent, and I think a lot of it has to do. Those cars are able to get loose. You're able to drive the wheels off of them.
100%.
You can put that car in positions that it might not necessarily be beneficial normally, but you can get around a guy that way. The leader, I don't know. See, Clean Air is still king in the Xfinity series because once the leader gets out there, they're pretty much going to pull away. However, in Nashville, that wasn't the case. Zilich was able to catch Allgaier. Clean
Air's king.
Zilich was able to catch Allgaier. Allgaier was able to catch Zilich. You didn't have that there. I agree with Cooper, though. The truck series has been, bar none, the best series this year.
That race yesterday was good. I mean, it was entertaining.
It was entertaining till it wasn't. And it got painful to watch.
Yeah, till it wasn't. The end was okay, this is...
But it's tough. It's tough to compare these feeder series to the Cup series because I feel like the feeder series are just based off
a whole bunch of non-driving fucks.
It's based off of pure driving talent over how much big money is in the Cup series. You know what I mean? I have ARCA recorded. I have not been able to watch it yet.
I haven't seen it either. I saw highlights, but that was it.
But I will be flipping it on at some point in the next 24 hours. Corey Day. Cooper, big Corey Day guy.
Big Corey Day guy.
So then we went to the Cup Series at Nashville, and Phil, for this race, fell asleep with about 100 to go and didn't wake up till like 2 hours after the race ended. Again, wasn't feeling the greatest. So I had to go back and rewatch it. Ryan Blaney gets the win. I saw that basically where I fell asleep from on. Blaney never lost the lead. However, Carson Hocevar didn't get through this race without any issues. Had a little run-in with Ricky Stenhouse, sends Stenhouse up into the wall, ends his race, and everybody was waiting for Stenhouse to do the old Kyle Busch at North Wilkesboro last year, and it just didn't happen.
Hot take. Hocevar did nothing wrong. He was there, and I think Stenhouse came down. I don't think that was Hocevar's fault. Is it early to be making moves like that? Sure, but what are you there for? You're there to race, not there to ride behind people. He had the lane. It is what it is.
You kind of segued me right into where I wanted to be with this, because I see a lot of people bitching about Hocevar on social media and saying that he's too aggressive and this, that, and the other. There's a lot of hate for him out there too, and I think a lot of it stems from the Truck Series Championship, where him and Heim maybe didn't put on the best sportsmanship display I've ever seen. That was on both guys. That wasn't solely on one guy or the other. That was both guys getting a little hot-headed with a championship on the line, going back and forth with each other. Watching Hocevar this year and watching the moves he makes reminds me so much of what Ross Chastain was when he first started getting into the Cup Series and getting his feet wet, that it is such a breath of fresh air. And how could you not like a guy who's literally doing anything he can to win? Is he going to ruffle some feathers? Yeah, that's racing. Racing is a bunch of ruffling feathers, especially when you compare Hocevar, who's running with a team like Spire, who's got 3/4 of the budget that your Hendricks do, your Gibbs do, your Penske's do. He's doing a lot with less. And I think that needs to be praised.
Oh, 100%.
Is he going to make mistakes? Absolutely. Is he apologizing for those mistakes? Not really. And I don't hate that.
I like what he does, because he does he own up to doing stuff? Sure. But at the same time, like you said, he's there to do one thing. Like he's there, like he's paid to win.
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to do? I mean, you're not there to make friends. You're there to make a paycheck and win races. And I love that. That's how a lot of these guys should be.
And you talked with me yesterday about this, that you're not liking the Dale Earnhardt comparisons. I don't think calling him Dale Earnhardt is right, but I think there's a lot of similarities with how Hocevar is driving right now in his first 3 years of Cup Series racing. I say 3 because I'm including next year with it too. And Earnhardt's first 3 years.
I mean,
Earnhardt won a championship in his second year. It's not the best comparison, but you kind of get what I'm saying.
I don't mind the comparison, but I don't like how far they're taking the comparison. Like, I get, okay, you compare him to Earnhardt, but don't say, like you said, don't call him Earnhardt. You know, he's not the next Earnhardt. It's
right.
Cool.
Right.
Like, you know,
I just think he's a hungry young driver that is doing everything he can to just make a damn name for himself.
Absolutely love it.
And I can't hate on that. I can't hate on that. Cooper's got money that it's Carson in the 48 next year. Tate, 2 drivers, 1 car, better than the shit-ass Cup car. Hear me out. We race the Xfinity race. At the end of the race, Cup drivers get in the car, and that's where they qualify. That is a lot. Nashville race was sold out. That was a massive crowd at that race.
Yeah, it was a good crowd.
That was a really good crowd, especially when all weekend it kind of looked meh. Sunday filled that place. Cooper's got money on it's Carson in the 48 next year. I don't see that happening.
I thought they already announced everybody's signed through next year.
Everybody is signed through next year. I don't see Bowman leaving. I think Ally really likes their relationship with Alex.
I think after next year, maybe. Sure.
I believe the Ally sponsorship is up in 27. I believe. There's a team chart here on
the J-Skis.
On J-Ski. I'm gonna kind of look at it here. Just because I'm almost positive Ally's signed for a pretty long time. As I'm scrolling to find it. Right here.
Through
Actually,
28.
Ally's through 28. And Bowman's contract runs through next year. So, yeah. I don't think Bowman's going anywhere. On the flip side of that coin, I wonder how long Hocevar's contract is with Spire. It's through this year. He's technically a free agent at the end of this year. But he'll be back with Spire next year. I don't see Spire getting rid of him.
I don't either. He signed a multi-year deal. In 24. So
LaJoy back to the 77 when Carson moves?
Absolutely not.
I don't see that happening either. Yeah, R-Truth coming back last night was amazing. I'll agree with you. No chance Rick lets Carson potentially leave Chevy. I don't see that either. But you know where that 48 ride's going? Where I think it's going? Corey Day.
You don't. So the problem is you're going to have Hocevar.
I have a feeling I know who that is.
You're going to have Hocevar do something like Ross. In the same case, he's going to do something and get into one of the Hendrick drivers, and that'll be the end of it.
I think he walks that fine line. We've seen it happen once before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's a possibility, but I do think all this money that Rick Hendrick's throwing into Corey Day through ARCA, Truck Series, Xfinity starts, that's where I see him going, is into that 48 once 28's up, 27 is up.
Maybe you see him move over to a certain 99 car at the end of the year.
I think that's where Zilich is going next year. They're adding starts. They're adding cup starts this year to his schedule. That's not just being done just to get his feet wet. It's being done because they need him to understand this car for a potentially big shakeup next year. I realistically, I look at Jesse Love. Jesse Love's been getting a lot of cup starts this year. And it was initially supposed to be like 1 or 2. Well, now they're starting to add races to that. So I'm curious as to where this all is going.
Whoa.
Oh, Cooper, SVG's out next year? I don't see it because he's been running better than Suarez has recently. We should be right at announcement time.
I got it. I just put it up.
You want me to read it?
Go ahead.
Adam Stern, A_S12. Stellantis Ram Trucks brand today is formally announcing that it will return to NASCAR after a 13-year hiatus starting in 2026. The first new car maker announcement for the American racing property in over 2 decades. Stellantis plans to eventually return to Cup. Bob Pockris, Ram to enter trucks in 2026. No teams and drivers announced. Hope to have 4 to 6 teams at Daytona in February. Intention is for Dodge or another Stellantis brand to Cup, but when, to be determined, with 2027 still possible, but that would be a very aggressive timeline. Let's hear it. What are the reactions? I mean, this is the worst kept secret in NASCAR for forever.
Oh, 100%. Like, I mean, we've all been talking about it for a couple weeks now.
Junior, excited? 26, return to Cup. Oh, God, Evernham bringing back his Dodge team when they go back to Cup. I think this kind of coincides with the timeline I figured they would do. 26, they'll be Truck Series full-time. Midway through 26, they'll announce it in 27. They are moving into the Xfinity Series as well, with 28 being the year for Cup. I think it's a 3-year timeline. I think that's what the goal is. And I'm nobody. I'm just guessing.
If they bring another brand,
it'll be Ram for trucks naturally, because Ram is technically the manufacturer name for Dodge.
Ram is the brand now. It's Ram trucks.
Dodge will then be in Xfinity and Cup, I would assume. I said I would assume.
If they're using other Stellantis brands, we may see an overseas company coming in here.
Well, now you got me curious. What other Stellantis brands do we have?
Alfa Romeo.
Abarth. Am I saying that right? Abarth?
Yep.
Alfa Romeo, Chrysler, Citroen?
Yep.
Dodge, DS Automobiles, Fiat. Oh my God, give me a Fiat.
Fiat 500.
Jeep, Lancia, Maserati, Opel. What? Oh, how do I say it? Peugeot?
Peugeot.
Ram and Vauxhall.
I mean, the only one that I could see would be an Alfa Romeo Giulia. That would be close. It's a 4-door sedan.
Hopefully Trackhouse goes to Dodge, so Ross senses the end guy. Yeah, we know who that is. Fiat. What are they going to bring? That Challenger with the speaker exhaust system to Cup? Charger Daytona Scat Pack. The Charger is bringing back the V8. That was something that came out like a month ago, wasn't it?
Well, the reason they did that is because the Dodge pickup truck no longer had a Hemi V8 in it. It only had a 6-cylinder. They had to bring back the Hemi in order to come back to NASCAR. They had to have a V8 engine.
I'm waiting to see some more news that comes out of this, because always the initial announcement comes and then
and everybody hated that 6-cylinder deal. I've heard it's been nothing but problems.
Yeah, I got nothing else popping up.
No, I had the same Bob Pockrass one. That's all I saw. As soon as I opened Facebook, that was the first message.
Truck race yesterday, speaking of Truck Series and all that. Sorry, I thought I found something new. Race was really good. Battles for the lead. I mean, it was always a 3-way battle for the lead, it felt like, or even at the end, it was a 4-truck battle for the lead. I don't need to guess who your identity is. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you are.
Hate for Hendricks, love for Dodge.
In fact, you probably are going to be getting a message here in a second. There you go. Anywho, what the fuck was that on that second to last restart yesterday?
Sorry, I'm still reading the comments over here.
Well, I was asking what that restart was at the end of yesterday.
That was people going for it. And I don't know. It just peepee's being stepped on.
Yeah. They were sideways. They were straight. They were sideways. I thought at one point Heim got through it, and then he got hit in the right rear by somebody that sent him spinning.
Overall, a decent race, though.
And then we got a random ass Stewart Friesen win.
Yeah.
Corey LaJoie had the win on a silver platter and lost it. A silver platter.
On driving fuck.
Brandon Cody wears under the chat. Hey, congrats to Stuart Friesen, though, man.
He's had a rough year.
That team needed it. Is that his first win in a couple years, isn't it? He didn't win at all last year. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
He probably did have a random win last year.
Knowing Stuart Friesen, he did.
We got Corey LaJoie hate going on in the comments now. And we got Michigan today. What are you looking forward to? First win since 22. What are you looking forward to in Michigan today?
Big runs. I think there's going to be some big like sliders thrown in there.
Some big sliders thrown in there? Big slide jobs?
Yeah, I think we'll see some big slide jobs. People are going to throw it down to the bottom and wash up. It's going to cause some problems, I think.
Brandon a nap.
Pretty much. Good news is we get a party going on at that time, so we can have it on and pay attention a little bit. And then
I'm gonna take a nap at the party while it's on.
Come on, dude.
Oh, looking forward to KFB running well all day and getting fucked by his crew again.
I picked him today in fantasy.
I think a prayer is still a long shot for a decent race today. I don't know, though. Trucks were so good yesterday. I just hope the cup side can translate to that. All right, Junior. Damn. We'll just leave that one there.
Wow.
You want to go over some fantasy stuff?
Yeah, I just put my picks in while we were sitting here.
Fantasy standings. How many races are we into the season? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 races in. Standings are Kyle Larson's iRacing account, Vince, Ryan Schreck second, Manda Love third, One Blue Weston fourth, King J Hip Racing fifth, myself, NASCAR Consistency sixth, Jackhammer JT seventh, Ruggs Motorsports 8th, Priscilla 9th, Cole the Bull 24 10th, Door Bumper Not Clear 11th, Casual Chaos 12th, Phil Mr. Excitement 13th, Juniors in 14th, Dale's Mustache 15th, Victor 16th, 17th is Tate, 18th Josh's Berries. Phil, who were you going with in Michigan?
Oh, you know, I'm gonna hope for a good run for Zane Smith today.
Hoping for a good run from Zane Smith. I meant your fantasy lineup, not your actual picks.
Oh, I thought you meant like picks.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's go. I took my bad. I took Briscoe, Kyle Busch, Busher, Bubba, and Smith.
I like the Busher pick.
I've been shooting for guys who are starting up front. I don't know if that's going to shoot me in the foot. Like all of them start in the top 10. And then I got Reddick in the garage.
Okay.
And then for the matchups, I took Blaney over Bell, Busher over Bubba, Hocevar over Gibbs, and Brad over Suarez.
I'm looking for something here. How many times have I used them?
Listen, Coop, here's what happened, okay?
What happened was
I had drivers who got DQ'd 2 weeks in a row. I had made my way up to like 8th at one point from like 13th, and I was like, hell yeah. And then the next week I was back to like 12th again.
Hope Cindric has a good day today. Michigan benefits a lot of the Ford teams. Ford teams run really strong here, so I think Cindric will be good today.
How do we think that's going to go? I know they said as of right now there's no effect on him, but how do you think that's going to
I don't
play out?
See, here's the thing. I know what Penske's saying and how, like, it has no relation to that. However, I could see them swapping. I can see him swapping Barry and Cindric. I can see it. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying that there's any factual evidence behind it. I could just it's like the Ryan Blaney rule.
But at the same time, I don't see it because I think Barry in that 21 car is.
Barry's been really good in that 21 car. I mean, he's in my fantasy lineup. My fantasy lineup's Briscoe, Busch, Larson, Busher, Barry, and Hocevar in the garage. And I took Blaney over Bell, Busher over Wallace, Hocevar over Gibbs, and Keselowski over Suarez. I just think Barry's, like you said, been really good in that 21. So I don't know if they'd want to leave him or they'd want to move him.
I think it's just too good of a combo.
Yeah, it's working out really well. So I don't know. Cindric's lucky in the sense of Penske doesn't have an Xfinity team anymore. So there is nobody in that driver development range for them.
Not really. I mean,
who's
does Ford even really have one at this point?
It's Sam Mayer and Sheldon Creed, right? Like those are your top 2 Ford drivers that are coming up.
Give Ryan Sieg a ride.
Give Ryan Sieg or Kyle Sieg.
I want to see the car come back in, complete, not in pieces. Ryan will keep your car there. Kyle, not so much.
Put Chris Wright in it.
Oh my. No.
I mean, Harrison, yeah.
Yeah.
Harrison Burton's in there. I don't know. Penske's in a really weird situation right now because there is nobody coming up. Joey's got maybe 5 years left, 6 years left, and he'll be retiring. You're going to center that team around Blaney if you haven't technically already have. That is tough. Penske's the big mystery now that I'm thinking about it.
I mean, even when you think about it, what do they have for Ford drivers in the trucks?
Everybody with ThorSport? Or is that Toyota again?
Let me look. Trucks.
Penske should throw a bag at Carson. Hey, I've seen crazier things. I've seen crazier, but Carson's always been with Chevy, so that would be interesting.
You've got Luke Fenhouse.
Luke Fenhouse.
So ThorSport is a Ford team.
ThorSport's with Ford. So Majeski's there.
Lane
Majeski
Riggs
ain't getting a cup ride. Lane Riggs. But see, Lane Riggs, I feel like, would be the front row guy coming up.
Mm-hmm. Chandler Smith, same.
Just hates his kids.
No. Dude, Malcolm in the middle. Malcolm in the middle could be the next Ford
Dude,
driver.
Frankie ran good yesterday until he didn't know how to restart.
Hey, he still came home 14th, which for him, good finish.
He was on that second to last restart and fourth.
Looked like iRacing, bro. Looked like he
Didn't
just
even
didn't
hit the
take
gas,
off.
I think, when the green came out. That really screwed Hocevar yesterday, honestly.
Other than
Hocevar was in that lane.
That's all the Fords. Jake Garcia would be the only other one, and Ben Rhodes. I mean, there's not a lot there.
No, because Ben Rhodes is going to be a career truck series guy. Is that actual, Cooper? Did Frankie actually try to restart in third gear? In theory, it would make sense because you don't want to spin the tires, but
he found out that was a bad idea.
He found out real quick that was a bad idea.
We were excited. We were both like, hell yeah, dude, look at Frankie. And then we're like, what the hell happened to Frankie?
Well, Malcolm in the middle decided to be stuck in the middle.
Oh, Malcolm went to the middle.
Malcolm went to the middle. Oh, so your pick today is Zane Smith.
Yeah, let me go with Zane.
That's an interesting pick. I did win last week. Harson Kosovar came through for me.
Oh, dude, that new Ram truck is pretty
When's that
sexy.
come out on iRacing?
As soon as it does, I'm driving it.
You're going Zane Smith. Who haven't I used this year that I could use? I've used just about every Ford driver. Except for one. I'm going to take Chris Buescher.
That's a good choice.
I'll take Buescher.
Long shot, no matter what, I'm taking Hocevar.
Yeah, at this point too. I'm taking my long shot as Hocevar as well. That dude's gonna win a race here soon. I don't want to be on the miss side of it.
Yep. Because what we say, that's 2 points if we win that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was good seeing Frankie run good until the last restart. Yeah. Until he decided to restart in third, apparently. Hypothetically, if Dodge joined the Cup Series right now, what teams do y'all think would make the switch to them?
That's a tough question.
Would Rick Ware?
Would you see Legacy switch?
That's not a bad one.
Number
well,
43
let's go
Dodge.
through the teams. Let's go through the teams.
You can't go wrong with the number 43 Dodge.
Trackhouse is not leaving Chevy.
No, not at all.
Penske's an option.
They were Dodge before.
RCR ain't switching from Chevy. I don't see Front Row switching from Ford. Hendrick's not switching from Chevy. RFK's not switching from Ford. Spire's got a lot of Hendrick backing right now, so I don't see them leaving Chevy. Colleagues got their RCR ties. I don't see that changing. Gibbs naturally will stay at Toyota. Wood Brothers going to stay Ford. 2311 is going to stay Toyota. I guess your true options here would be Haas, Legacy, Hayek, or Rick Ware. And that's not necessarily saying if a different owner decided to come in and enter another team.
See, what's going to shake that up, though, is so if our timeline's correct and you're saying now we got Dodge coming next year with guaranteed, what they say, 4 teams?
They said about 4 Dodge teams, at least in the truck series.
So now you got 4 Dodge teams there. Now you move Dodge up the next year. How do you do it? Because you can't take Joe Gibbs going to Dodge because that wouldn't work out.
No, Gibbs ain't going to go to Dodge.
No, but I mean, like, what I'm saying is you can't switch a team mid-season like one of the bigger teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it would have to be somebody who doesn't have a smaller Xfinity team.
It's tough.
I don't know.
That is tough, man. I think you might see a different manufacturer come in, or a different team owner come in.
I think Legacy is, out of the ones we mentioned, is probably the most.
I could see it with Legacy.
Logical.
I could see it with Legacy, actually. Wonderful. Chip a comeback.
That's what T-Cod just said in the comments.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Dude, he's got the long-standing relationship.
But then Cooper's right above that.
I don't think Gibbs switches to Dodge. I just don't see that. That's such a good question. This is a great question. Because I'm honestly stumped. You got to find that team that's like, because Michael Waltrip Racing was the introductory to Toyotas with Bill Davis. Actually, Tristan mentioned Bill Davis. Bill Davis was a part of that as well. Then Gibbs came along and really elevated what Toyota did. I think Red Bull was Toyota too when they first started out. Man, that's tough. That's tough.
That's a good question.
Charger, Challenger, Gen 7. I'd imagine to be the Challenger, but isn't the Challenger no longer in production, or is it still in production? The Charger's not in production.
I think the Charger's still out.
Mm. I don't know. That's tough. That's a tough one. I'm hoping we get some more information on all this because this is all. I'd be curious to see who is leading the charge on the Dodge teams next year, and then I can actually give you like an accurate prediction.
I would assume we'd probably start hearing some announcements here coming up on who the truck teams are.
I mean, we're what, 6 months to the end of the season? 7 months or 5 months to the end of the season at this point?
Yeah, 5.
So plans got to start being made. If they're naturally already have been made.
Cleves McFarland to Dodge.
Cleves McFarland to Dodge. Freedom Racing with Cleves McFarland. Here comes the Noah Gregson number 4 Bass Pro Shop Dodge Neon.
That's fucked up.
Hey, how come every Dodge Neon you see on the road has the worst paint?
All of them.
There ain't even one that has half decent paint that I've seen.
I mean, you think about them. Most of the Neons are pretty freaking old now, though, bro.
Yeah.
If they're still surviving, they're doing all right.
Yeah. The paint was, oh my God. I had an ex-girlfriend whose brother had a Dodge Neon. Worst paint I ever seen. It was that blue, teal, turquoise, green, blue. Dodge Neon SRT 4 Gen 7. Oh, man. That's all I got, Phil. That's it.
Nothing.
We're going to go party it up.
Ready. We hungry.
We hungry. Take it away, Victor.
New Victor or old Victor?
No, well, I've only got the old one up here. So,
okay.
Clean Air Show. We're on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Make sure you subscribe, follow, like, share with your friends. Don't forget that tomorrow we're going to be live again at 8:00 with Brayton Lasser of the
Was
Arc
it 8
Menard
or
series.
8:30 we decided?
I thought it was 8, but let me verify. Yeah.
Yes.
8.
8. Okay. Just
8:00 tomorrow. Tomorrow night. We'll be back here. Might not be your normal Clean Air show. It might just be a show with Brayton that we do, and then we'll do our normal show next Sunday. We'll decide that later, though. Depends on what happens today.
Yeah, we'll see how the race goes.
Yes, sir. All right, Victor, take it away.